Hi, everyone. My name is Maddie Shellgren. I am the OLC's Director of Online Engagement. And I have the privilege in this short video to onboard you and get you excited about our OLC Innovate Slack space for 2021. All right, so how I'm going to do this is briefly give you an orientation to the Slack channels we have created for you. So if you're new to Slack, think of a channel as being a dedicated space or a thread for conversation and connection. And in fact, that is exactly how we within the conference space will be utilizing Slack. Slack is a great tool that can be used for a number of things, like project management, for instance, and a lot of organizations and institutions do use it for this type of purpose. Within the space of OLC Innovate, of course, we will be treating this as a major hub for dialogue, for continued conversation, particularly in the asynchronous environment, and as a great space to connect with other conference attendees. So I'm going to start off with, on that notion of connection, a very brief review to 5 of our Slack channels. So these are going to be the Allies-DEI, so Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Crew channel, the Breaker-Lure Crew channel, the Instructional Designer Crew channel, the Instructional Technologist Crew channel, as well as the Instructor Crew channel. So you'll notice that each of those are tagged right within the channel name with the word crew, and they're all associated with, or each of them are associated with our 5 innovation crews. If you are just hearing from now on this video about the innovation crews, these are great, intimate, cohort-based spaces where you can join in with other folks that maybe have some shared interests. So other instructional technologists, other instructional designers, and the like. And so these Slack channels are dedicated, of course, for those crews. They're going to be open to everyone, of course, and you'll be able to see those right within the Slack space. But highly recommend, if you have interest or overlapping areas of focus with these crews, that you hop into those channels and follow along and connect with those folks there. Likewise, we have a whole plethora of other channels that are meant to, again, connect, help you engage, and help you further have those side conversations that are near and dear to our hearts within the space of professional development and conferences. So I'm going to start with the Connect channel. It is called Connect. I'm going to encourage you to treat this like a space for exchanging things like digital business cards. So what do we normally have maybe on a business card? Our names, our emails, or contact information. For instance, I would love for you to connect with me personally on Twitter. My handle is @Maddie Shellgren. And even that kind of outreach is absolutely something I'm going to encourage you to do on that channel. Let folks know that you want to connect and that is genuinely something you've come to this conference to do, and use that channel to do that kind of work. We have the engagement channel. So of course, as Director of Online Engagement, this is one of my favorites. But you will be able to meet some of our awesome volunteers, hear about things like our virtual speed networking lounge, our OLC Live offerings, our evening social, the after party, and a whole range of the engagement opportunities and offerings that OLC Innovate has to bring you. We also have a general channel. So this is a great channel for all of the general things. So if you, after hearing this video and reading the descriptions of the channel, say, hey, you know what, I think I have something to share, but I'm not sure where to share it. That general channel is going to be the greatest space to do that kind of work. For instance, right off the top of my head, maybe you're looking for a specific resource. You're saying, hey, does anyone happen to have a really great website that links to a variety of resources around accessibility? That'd be a great spot to drop that kind of resource, or perhaps ask the community for that kind of resource. Then in addition to that channel, we have the presenter services channel. If you are one of our presenters or otherwise are just interested in learning what it's like to facilitate a session at one of our conferences or events, or just in general for online and virtual experiences like this, that presenter services channel is going to be a great spot to both meet some of our coaches, but also ask questions or perhaps look for some tips, tricks, and the like. We have our random channel, one of our favorites within the OLC community. But this is for all of the random tidbits, those fun things that you think you want to share because that's who you are and that's the type of thing you like to share. But maybe there's not another dedicated space for doing that kind of work. So I'll give you an example. It's sometimes fun when there's a windstorm like there has been in the Midwest as of late of the United States. And you might say, hey, did anyone else have a wicked windstorm this weekend? Because I did, right? So we can connect over the randomness in our lives. Or perhaps you have an affinity for donuts. I love a good donut. All right, so that's the kind of information I might share about myself in the random channel to connect with others who might also have an affinity for donuts. And then we have just 2 more channels I want to call attention to. One is the Reflect channel, and the other is the tweets channel. And Reflect, as you might imagine, this is going to be a dedicated space for some reflection, for note-taking, for leaving some of your favorite quotes from sessions, or perhaps making some deep connections to other things in your life or other things you're learning, or perhaps in your workspace. And then finally, that tweets channel. Whether or not you're on Twitter, this is actually going to be a space that that channel populates with tweets that are tagged with OLC Today and the conference hashtag, which is OLC Innovate. So if you want to follow along, whether or not you're on Twitter, that is a great space to follow. And of course, I think the greatest space, particularly if you're not on the platform, Twitter that is, that you can nevertheless stay engaged in the conversation by actively engaging in that particular channel. All right, with that in mind, the only last thing I will do is encourage you to look over the resources about how to get on Slack. Slack is a great and very well-documented space, and hope you have otherwise a great time engaging in this space. I hope to see you there, but whether you're joining us live for the conference or joining us asynchronously after the fact. And please, again, feel free to connect. Otherwise, have a great conference, and I look forward to seeing you there.